Game number 2. Game number 2 from Puerto Vallarta underway. The Florida State Seminoles looking to bounce back after a challenging first one against one of the nation's best in Oklahoma State. And the Bears of Northern Colorado make their Puerto Vallarta debut, their very first game of the season to open up 2025. Happy to have you along, everyone. Corey Brooks, Nicole Mendez with you. A fun tournament in store for both teams. And UNC goes to work behind Isabel DiNapoli. Izzy, the senior. 8-8 last year, a 3.41 ERA, 88 Ks to just 55 walks. A career year last year. Now going against the top 15 Seminole squad. And she'll start it out with a strikeout. Picture perfect. Maya Ross down swinging.
Love to see it, coming out with a ton of energy, a lot of momentum. They're fresh, they're fired up. This is their first game of the season. University of Northern Colorado, they know what it takes to win. They are successful in their conference, and they're ready for a challenge. Florida State, they're looking to bounce back after their game. I think this is going to shape up to be a good one. Corey, what do you think?
Anytime you've got the back-to-back champions and chosen as preseason #1 again, that's the case for Northern Colorado, they're going to have a chance, even as a mid-major, going against one of the bona fide dynasties in this sport in Florida State. It'll be a lot of fun. This has been a player who's been locked in the whole time. Doesn't matter. How about the defensive web gem in just the second at-bat of her season? Just phenomenal from Nia Chacon.
I mean, we already know what this bat can do, but look at that. The way that the approaches, it is so easy on balls that die as you're coming in hard, crashing from the outfield. You want to pull up. You want to make sure the ball doesn't go past you.
That's a perfectly placed bunt and nothing to be done for Walling. So Isa Torres reaches base. She is the opening base runner for Florida State.
And already a lot of action here in these first 3 hitters. We had a strikeout, we had a diving play, and a beautifully placed bunt. Michaela Edenfield, she's up. Let's see what she's going to do.
The power stick for FSU. Watching ball 1. Dak, Waycaser, Kerr, Harp, and Widra, the remainder of the opening 9 for FSU. Awfully similar to how Florida State opened up the very first game of this tournament. Happy to have you for the ride. Oh, and 2. Enfield gets it through 5-6. Back-to-back base runners for the Noles. Torres makes it 2 in prime position.
A nice job by Edenfield. Heads up, that ball's going to 3. Let me go ahead and take that extra base. Really good job as a trail runner. Nice job by Torres being able to get all the way over to 3rd. Love to see it.
But the extra result by FSU here.
Yeah, if you're Florida State, you're wanting to come out and make a statement here in the first.
It was Oklahoma State that started fast in game 1. FSU answers the bell. 2 quick outs to 2 successful plate appearances. And Katie Dak is working ahead as well. Bounce back for DiNapoli.
Working both sides of the plate, different speeds, different levels. Florida State narrowing down the pitches. That's what Michaela Edenfield just did, but narrowing it down, picking one pitch to really go after and attack.
Napoli comes with the off speed. Convergence in the corner, but nothing to be done.
I think for both of these teams,
Morales, the infield from left to right. Ona Chacon handling things in the outfield for UNC. Joined by Quinny and Wright. And the battery, Napoli and Jaworski. Dak got some juice on that. Dak gives it a ride and is able to drop it all the way to the fence. A Dak hack in the first inning. She brings in two, and with two down, FSU goes clutch.
I love to see it. We saw that swing just before a hard hit, ball hit well. She knows what she is attacking. In this one, whenever she sees it is elevated left over the middle of the plate, she takes it. That's a great effort out in center, but great job staying with the game plan. I think that was something that Florida State struggled with last game. So making that adjustment heading into game 2, the first doubleheader of the season, being able to get that done.
And now Dak gets third on the wild pitch. Waycaster challenged in game 1, in control to begin round 2.
We've seen how hard the balls fly off of Florida State's bat so far this game. Defense for Northern Colorado, they're playing even or behind the bags. Middles, they're playing extra deep.
Hit well, but right at Guyona to end the frame. Still, the critical 2-out hitting by Katie Dak puts Florida State up a couple. They're coming up next. Will the Northern Colorado Bears looking to answer? The collegiate debut for the Florida Gatorade Player of the Year, an elite recruit, Jazzy Franic, Rockledge, Florida, goes to work to begin her time with this Florida State program. Franic's first pitch. That's how you want to start a career.
Being able to attack, I think, is the biggest key for any pitcher. And that sounds as simple as, oh, if it's a strike, swing, right?
Walling to Jay, and one down.
But too often you see pitchers fall behind in counts because they're trying to be too careful. They're trying to be too cautious. Being able to get those pitches, attack, that gives you those pop-ups, that gives you those flares, because you're the aggressor, you're the attacker, and you're putting that hitter on the defense.
Amiley Morales goes to work for Northern Colorado. First Bear to become the Big Sky Player of the Year. She was unanimous in her all-first team selection a year ago. This is the straw that stirs the drink for the back-to-back champions. She's working ahead.
It's a nice little off speed right there. Missed high, but I like the change of speed, how it made me feel like I needed to lean forward. A little floaty.
The meme you see all the time when somebody's serious and playing a game, they just lean forward. Happens very much while we're watching softball as well. And a great pitch right there from Jazzy Franic. No doubt. You more than most. Even I, I'll lean in when I see one I think is there. And you've got years of hitter instinct behind you. I just watch.
To be fair, I also know when I would have swung and missed at a pitch as well.
Less often than you think. Make no mistake about it. That is stung, but it was a dead pull into foul territory.
That up and in pitch, that has been the one that we've seen go out, flying out of the yard today. A lot of home runs in game number 1. I'm curious to see if we'll see some in game number 2. Florida State had some good contact in the top of the first. Northern Colorado, a couple of hard hit foul balls already.
Just missed, as she has done for a while now. Amiley Morales on deck. And making it happen. She stands at first.
I love the energy that UNC is bringing. They have the momentum, right? Again, I'm going to bring this up all the time. Momentum is everything in this game of softball. It's inches, it's momentum, it's energy, it's synergy.
Ripped in, just gets away, and winning the race by a step is Ella Gonzalez. Put it in play, give it some juice, good things happen.
And that's what happens. You get a free base, you battle, you're smart at the plate. Next batter up rips one over to first. Being able to hustle that out, that is big. For Florida State, communication is going to be key to them on this defense right now.
Chacon, who had the web gem just a few minutes ago, now goes to work with the bat.
UNC, they've been taking big hacks, big swings. It looks to me, if I were on UNC, it looks to me like the goal, the target, hit the ball hard.
Especially
They
out in
are
Big Sky
chasing-
Country. That ball can fly.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. But they are chasing a very specific pitch. They are going after that and that alone. And once they see it, it's 100% commitment. That's half the battle as a hitter, is having a game plan. But then the other half is sticking to it.
Franic gets some quick words from Isa Torres in the infield right up the middle. Whatever they said worked. The foul tip. Franic drops it off the table. Her first collegiate strikeout.
What a beautiful pitch. That one, I mean, the way it tailed, the way it dropped. Michaela Edenfield, big smile on her face from that pitch. She is hyped. And that's what you want to see is, okay, this pitch got hit hard foul. Can I move it half an inch slower? All right. Can I move it half an inch in? What does that look like? And I love those adjustments early on from a pitcher in the first inning, because that shows you it's a showcase of what the rest of the game is going to be like. Are they going to make adjustments? Are they cognizant enough?
Young pitchers forced into even bigger roles last year for FSU because of injury. Jazzy is in this role very much by design. Coach is saying, hey, this is someone who's going to have an immediate impact. And sure enough, the true freshman starts the second game of the year in our stacked field here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. One's up to the catcher, Jaworski. 1-2.
That pitch for UNC, I've seen a couple swings from them. I love to see a pitcher, once they recognize this might be a hard spot for this team, I'm just going to live there. I'm going to stay there, and until they make that adjustment, I'm not moving. And that is what she's doing. She is pounding that zone.
Quinny, Francia, Diona Gander, the remainder of the batting order for the Bears. Take by Jaworski. Beecham and Torres, the left side of that infield, and that's going to be the case pretty much the entire way for Florida State. Leidra and Ross on the right side, Kerr, Harp, Waycaster, the outfield from left to right. Jazzy Franic, Michaela Edenfield, the battery. Good fight here by Jaworski.
I love the battle, and I love going back to that same location, that same spot for Florida State. They know that spot works. Again, until that adjustment is made, I wouldn't move from there.
Two, Franic plays it on the hop, and Jazzy's first collegiate inning will come to an end with a 0 in the run column. Northern Colorado does get one hit, works a walk, but the Florida Gatorade Player of the Year takes her show on the road and brings us off to the second with her team up by 2. For the Noles, bottom third going to come up here to begin this second frame. That means you did a couple of things right in the opening chapter. And despite starting this game out, FSU pushes 2 across thanks to Katie Dack. And now Janai Kerr gets to swing away with a lead.
I actually really like this bottom half of the lineup.
Yeah.
Especially Kerr leading off. She did a lot last game, and like I said, she's only halfway done. A lot of success. And whenever you're in that 5 or 7 hole, a lot of times as the game goes on, you'll see those become the quote-unquote leadoff spots. That's a great place to have somebody who's been generating momentum, generating hits for your team.
And after that one, top shelf.
If you're Northern Colorado, the idea.
Kerr, laser. That's in a dangerous spot. Nothing to be done. That's an auto double. And then Kerr wants more. She's got it with ease. A stand-up triple for Janai Kerr.
Again, talk about momentum. This is a hitter who generated that for Florida State last game, and she leads off, rips this one down the line, and you can tell about 3 steps past the base. She knows she has an easy glide into third. Talk about a leadoff triple. Talk about generating momentum. Talking about setting the tone to turn over the lineup.
Kennedy Harp, who went yard in game 1, splits the difference, drops it right in front of Quinny, and back-to-back players at third base. The base running by the Seminoles. Textbook.
Being able to have that much speed back to back, that is a tough one to face. First one, that one was ripped in the corner. The second triple, that was a little bit more of an error over and right, but again, that doesn't become a triple if you're not being aggressive, if you're not looking for that extra base. So shout out to Florida State for getting their base running on point, especially this early in the game. They want to set the tone.
Officially goes down as an E9 to give Harp the couple extra bases. And she winds up getting 3 bags on a ball just past the infield. AP Widra, big hack.
Sabella working lower in the zone, have a little bit of pop to her pitch. And you see she comes back up with the rise. But to me, I think using that rise sparingly, staying low in the zone, that's what we've seen her do the first inning. And it kind of threw Florida State off for a second. It took them a while to string a few hits together. They've made the adjustments. Northern Colorado, they continue to do the same.
Widra, a sac fly in the first game, and that one much more of a high variety, phenomenal run at it by Guyona and left. But Florida State adds another.
And those are the adjustments that I'm talking about. That ball is low in the zone, not able to do too much, but being able to just have enough to get through the infield, to land in front of the outfield, get those runs across.
High and away. Widra turns the lineup over. She's got 2 RBI in her Florida State career. Both of them winding up with outfielders. finding a way to be productive at the bottom and turn things over to Amaya Ross, who wears that on the foot.
That one hit the entire cleat. You can see her wiggling her foot around. Yeah, not loving that. But what she is loving, and I'm sure Florida State is as well, free base. Free base with Beecham up, a dangerous, dangerous hitter.
Jay Beecham right now sitting at 500 on this tournament. 2 hits in her 4 at-bats. She's already brought in 3, which is good enough for a team and obviously Puerto Vallarta high. And she'll have a chance for another. That was close. A nice throw down by Jaworski.
That was close. Might have even left a little early. I think she might have got her. But call still stands, Beecham.
The Bears catch a break on the backside of it. Morales able to play it easily.
Florida State still with runners in scoring position. The best thing they can do for themselves whenever that ball's in play, how can I get one step farther? How can I push to the next bag? We saw it with the 2 leadoffs. We want to see it again, get this one last run across. And then if you're Northern Colorado, you can see the way this defense is set up. You have shortstop and third base. They're playing it just a little bit more, but first base, second base, they're giving a lot of room for this lefty here. They know Issa, she may have laid down the bunt the first at bat, but anything for her pattern, her tendency is to pull it over to that side. They want to be prepared and give themselves the best chance to make that play.
Torres 3 for 5 to begin the campaign in the driver's seat as well. Goes right back to that bunt. It's going to be so fascinating to watch for freshmen all across, but in particular for these 2 we've just seen in Jaysoni and Issa, 2 of the best seasons ever as freshmen in the history of Florida State softball. How do you follow it up in round 2? You get the benefit of experience, but the drawback of scouting tape and analytics. In play, handled by Francia, across the diamond and in time. We'll dive into that a little bit in the next half. For now, the 2 sophomores corralled. Napoli manages to bounce back, but Florida State puts up 2 more. 2 runs on 2 hits. The Harp single and the sac fly by Ouidra that required a web gem doubles the margin for the Noles. A great start for FSU. in their bounce-back effort here in the second game of their doubleheader. Northern Colorado still looking to settle into the year as the Big Sky champs. They'll have 6, 7, 8, starting with Quinny. Jazzy starts strike one. Quinny getting an opportunity to step up here. Northern Colorado, bunch of newcomers, losing some key pieces. Quinny was the go-to runner, had 5 at-bats last year. She's going to get one right out of the gate.
That's what I love about year to year, the development of an athlete. If you love to compete, you're going to be developing. You're going to be seeing ways that you can get on that field to be that starter. And maybe it takes a year. Like you said, She only had 5 at-bats last year to first game of her season. She's in the box. She's pretty high up in that batter's order. She's batting 6. She's proven herself at some point. That's made her coaches go, you got to put her in.
And she'll continue to prove it. Quinny's got a base knock.
That reaction from her team says it all. This one, up and over too much plate, and she takes full advantage of it. Every mistake, every ball, every pitch left over the plate. Northern Colorado, that is why they are so good. They take advantage of mistakes from other teams, and they capitalize on them.
Sets up Francia. For what it's worth, Alina was 2 of 5 in those 5 at-bats. So extremely effective in the limited sample size, and that efficiency is carried over here to a starting role as Quinny stands at first base for the shortstop Francia. The main transfer, all even.
I mentioned the off-speed last inning, and I still really like it. I like the way it looks, but the only thing, I have not seen it thrown low.
Might have been aiming for it there. Beecham has the first. That's picked perfectly by Widra. That right there is why she's gotten back-to-back starts the second. Challenged a little bit in that first game, but she answers the bell right here.
Being able to hang on to that is big. The last thing that you want is a runner in that base path with 2 back-to-back hits. That is not what you want. So being able to stick onto that while you're kind of diving, sliding, trying to get to the bag, that is big.
Yeah. There's that frantic off speed. Heading Guyona.
That's the off speed that we want to see. Lower in the zone. As a hitter, that pitch I want nothing to do with. The one that's elevated, a lot easier to see, a lot easier to hit. Love that location.
Frantic looking like anything but a freshman these opening couple innings. Guyona to Beecham to close the frame. Jazzy Franic, 2 down.
As I'm looking at Northern Colorado and I'm thinking game plan for them, that's the pitch. That one right there, that was just popped up just a little early. But that's the pitch that you want to attack. If you're a hitter on Northern Colorado, go after those pitches because those are the ones that stay in the zone. They don't take you out of your body.
Kander slows it Jazzy does it all. The single, the fielder's choice. That's all the action on the base paths. Florida State settling in now. Away from home in the opener for the first time in over 5 years. Now looking right at home at Nancy Almaraz Stadium. So far, Florida State making up for lost time. And we talked in that first game about wanting to bring in momentum into round two. They've certainly done that, scoring 2 runs in each of their first couple of cracks at it. And now they bring the heart of their order to bear for the second time through, starting with Michaela Edenfield.
Number 51, Michaela Edenfield.
Isabella, last time she faced Edenfield, gave up a hard hit. She is a hitter who you are constantly going to have to continue to adjust to. You can never do 2 at-bats the same.
Edenfield uses that power to center, and the fence at Nancy Almaraz is just big enough to keep her inside. Walling makes the grab for the first.
Beautiful swing and a great track down out there in center, especially with that sun. We saw it last game. There was a couple of drop balls. There was shielding because that sun is brutal. I know, I have played on that field myself. Around this time, the sun, whenever the ball gets over a certain height, it is very hard to see there. So being able to track that down and track it all the way into your glove, it sounds like a simple thing, but it becomes pretty crucial whenever you're having trouble seeing where the ball went.
Florida State on the worst end of that in their first trip here earlier in the ball game. Right now, the routine is staying just that. Francia the second after Chacon made the out in center just a moment ago.
We talked about hitters making adjustment. How about Isabella making her adjustment? 2 hitters, last time they came up, had hard hits, had successful RBIs. This time around, outs.
Copley looking to face the minimum for the first time in this tournament. She has retired 4 in a row.
I think those results came from how did she attack the zone? Was it timid? Was it aggressive? Falling behind 3-0 here, softer pitches.
Got 1 step towards first out of Waycaser. Still the ultimate hitters count. Hard hit and finds grass. Hallie Waycaser in the hit column for the first time in 25.
That is a nice job. Just waiting until that ball stays a little bit more elevated, doesn't drop down into the dirt. And the biggest thing is a barrel on plane. I've seen it a few times from Florida State this game, but getting their barrels on plane earlier in their swing, so that's less that they have to do whenever contact time comes.
Kerr, first pitch swing at her speed, makes that a tough play, and it's answered. JC Gandert stays calm, cool, and collected. And it's the cleanest inning of work for Izzy DiNapoli, facing just 4 and giving up 1 hit. Her team goes back to Hacken on the other side. Got Kerr a little out in front, and to do the job. Little ground ball, you take it every time. Northern Colorado looking to string together successes, their best top half. Now they try and get the better of Jazzy Franic in the bottom, with the top of their order starting it off and Katie Wallen.
See a new battery here as well.
Heard a couple of changes there. Our home plate umpire, Mike Burwell, will give them to you in just a sec.
Leading it off for the Bears. Third base, number 16.
One thing that's remaining the same, Franic out for her 3rd inning of work.
What that means is if you're the Bears, the adjustments, they stay the same. You don't have to make a new game plan. The adjustment for you, the plan of attack here in the 3rd inning, we've almost went through a lineup all the way through. Being able to narrow down the pitches that you want, and it's the ones low in the zone. She's going there often. You know you're going to see that one.
Maddie Fry, the one who receives that pitch, making her season debut. Taking over for Edenfield for a bit. Natty DeLong, who we saw a little bit of, both as a runner and fielder in Game 1, returns to the 7th spot in left field.
Saw the pitches high. It's the ones that are low and in. As a hitter, it's totally okay if you have a game plan. Cheat a little bit. Know that you're committing to that pitch. You are setting yourself up for success. You're setting up your teammates for success whenever you have that game plan in mind, and you totally buy in, 100% commit. I think if we see the Bears do that, we're going to start to see some more balls in play, more of those hard hit balls that they had in the 1st inning. A little bit of chaos.
Walling. Sun, no issue that time for Amaya Ross.
Easy peasy defense right there. Like you said no problem, but notice how she set up whenever she caught that. Her body wasn't full on facing the 3rd base dugout. She was kind of tilted a little bit to give herself better access.
Miley Morales, who walked last time, comes back up in round 2. It's interesting for both the teams that Florida State has faced. Their leadoff hitter has been a transfer. So a player who's only been in town for a few months immediately takes center stage and winds up leading things off. We saw it for Delgadillo of Oklahoma State, and now Walling here, the Seattle transfer. Different sport, all part of the new era.
Yeah, speaking of new era, I think that's something that we're going to see everywhere with NIL, with the transfer portal. You are going to see more movement year to year. And I was talking about this with some other softball players the other day, but being able to understand whenever a transfer comes in, they're bringing not only their experience, the experience of that former team, they're bringing that knowledge in as well.
Get that fresh set of ideas brought into your program, some of which you adopt, some of which you don't. That fresh perspective clearly making an impact. Now we've got rev share coming up right around the corner too, and I don't think any of us know exactly what that means right now.
You think we're a little ways away from understanding exactly what it all means, but
yeah. Miley gives it a ride to center, and it squirts out of the glove of Harp.
that ball was crushed. Did not quite have the distance, but crushed. I mean, you can see she is out at the fence. But this is where Florida State struggled last game. That's where we see them struggle this game. The anticipation of what comes next versus you have to be living in the moment. Trying to throw the ball in before you catch it, just looking away just a second too soon. We saw that a couple times over at second base. That is where it comes to bite them in the end. And if you're Northern Colorado, if you want to go after that mistake, you see it, you pounce on it, and you go, okay, we got a free double. Let's get another free base. Let's get a hit. Let's see if we can compound and get some runs.
Emma Osborne's going to come into the game. She's the pinch runner at second. Stung to center again. Osborne takes the wide turn. She's coming home. Northern Colorado on the board for the first time in 2025. Thanks to Ella Gonzalez.
This one again, being able to capitalize. That's what we just talked about. You carry that momentum, not just from the hit, but into your at-bat. You're chasing, you're disciplined with the pitches that you're hunting. And whenever you see it, your goal, like we talked about, the Bears, their goal is to hit the ball hard and hit the pitches that they're hunting. So whenever you narrow that down, you have a lot of success, especially whenever you go back-to-back. Now, I always say this, Corey. If you have 3 or more hard hits, odds are you're going to score. They did it in 2. What happens if they get 4 hard hits? How many runs do they get then? That's whenever it becomes a game.
Franic really getting challenged here for the first time with those hard hit balls. Run does go down as unearned. So technically, Franic still has not conceded an earned run in her collegiate career. This is her first start. Chacon hopes to tack on another. Off speed, Naya doesn't bite. Going into foul territory. Managed to find the grass. Nia coming off a career year. Second team in the Big Sky after being more of a reserve player in 2023. Really took off in league play. Shows the fight that Coach Pendleton Helm really praised her for, and now comes in looking to even further that step forward.
With two hard hits from Northern Colorado, if you're Florida State, you get a few more. Yes, you get other runs across the board, but I would also be thinking, who else do I have in my pin? Who else can I go ahead and call to? I don't want to be completely left unprepared. Yes, I trust my pitch, but I don't want to be unprepared. A couple of hard hits, and we saw how fast those happened. You want to be ready if you're Florida State.
Fortunately for Knowles fans, I think it's probably been a long time since Lani Alameda was caught unprepared for a pitching decision.
Absolutely. She's great for a reason.
NFCA Hall of Famer. Francic's first start, you figure there's probably a built-in pitch count. Wouldn't go too long, even if she were being ruthlessly effective and still largely in control, her team obviously sporting the 3-run lead. Thompson slides back to the top. She's the runner over at first.
I remember my first outing as a Sooner, putting on that jersey for the first time and the goosebumps that I got for a real game. Not pretend, not a media day, but a real game. I can't imagine what you must be feeling. And that was a nasty pitch on the inner half.
That's the pedigree that Francic brings to the table. Ordinarily for FSU, your first game, you get to open up in Tallahassee. This is the first non-home opening game as you get a look at the pace of Francic. Did you get to open up in Norman, or you were on the road for that first game?
Oh, Norman, Oklahoma was a little too chilly for me in February. We were opened up on the road.
Fair enough. Dvorsky sends it foul. Mind you, Tallahassee, as of 2 weeks ago, had snow on the ground. It's fine now. They could have played there, but a lot of travel going on this year for Florida State. Going to Oregon to make up a game that got snowed out. Going to conference member Cal, which will never not be gross. And so they open up on the road in their first game ever outside the United States.
Getting Franic to be able to figure out how to get through these situations, and I'm not saying she's pitching badly by any means, but just get comfortable, find her pace as a new member of this team, as an old.
Instead, it's 5-6-0 from Jaworski. Her first hit of the season extends the frame for the Bears.
And right there, that's 3 hard hits in an inning. How can you continue to capitalize on that? How can you continue to go? And what I have seen is Northern Colorado, they've let the rise ball that has been up by the chin go. They've let the pitches that have been down by the knees go, and they've been really hunting the ones right at the letters.
Danley went a couple innings in game 1 for FSU. So Franic may be winding down as Coach looks to utilize the full extent of the staff, especially this being the last game of the day for Florida State. Northern Colorado's got another one coming up against Louisiana Tech as they make their debut. That'll aid the cause. Easy play for Amaya Ross to slam the door. But it is 1 run on 2 hits, the biggest of which, the Ella Gonzalez single, scores Osborne. Northern Colorado gets onto the board first time in 2025. Kennedy Harp leads things off for Florida State. Got to look as we came back at that pitch clock, always counting the newest addition here to Nancy Almaraz Stadium. Everybody's got to have a visible one now, and boy, the pace of play across our sport very much reflected in that.
I'm such a big fan of it. I think, like you said, it speeds up the game. Not only is it on the umpire to keep track and count in his head and call balls and strikes, but everyone can see it in the stadium. It just increases the urgency. It's a good pitch. Just missed.
Great 3-0 start for Harp. Already got on base, came around to score on her RBI single. That's not your usual 3-0.
Not your usual 3-0 at all, but I like the aggression. We talked again about both pitchers attacking these hitters, making them become defensive versus offensive.
Sat on that. Perfect execution. Right back from where it came. Leadoff single for Harp.
Harp has been crushing it. I truly have seen Florida State, these hitters, they have been seeing the ball well. They've been making good contact. Now it's just a matter of how many times can they string it together. Just like we saw from Northern Colorado last inning, you string things together, runs happen. Same thing for Florida State. Haven't seen them score since the second. String some things together and they're going to be dangerous.
Widra right up a shoot. Long run in right. Properly made by Quinny. That is not as easy as she made it look.
I was about to say, the way that she had to crash in, she is at the fence, and by the time she catches it, look how close she is to the dirt, and you're at a full-on sprint. It's not easy to keep track of that ball and also come to the dead stop at the same time.
Queen showing that speed that had her as the primary runner last year for UNC, now takes over in right field, deservedly so. Speaking of, that was the exact same path to success for Amaya Ross. Locked in on runner, and then last year just was impossible to remove from the lineup for this Florida State team.
I like the way you phrase that, impossible to remove, because whenever you are a hitter and you are just so effective, whenever you're a pinch runner and you are so effective, whenever you're on defense and you're so effective, you have to be so good. Your coaches have no choice. Little hit and run action there.
Yep,
Love
Harp
to
wanted
see
it.
the aggression. Talk about creating chaos. We saw a little bit of that last game. Would love to see Florida State create some chaos this inning.
Ross often an agent of chaos with her speed. She'll stay at 2-2.
It's a good battle for her here. Just missing, just missing. You stay in it long enough, you see enough pitches, you're going to come out with the win.
Ross continuing to fight. Talk about that speed. She's got a stolen base already in this game. She was the queen of the ACC in that regard a year ago. 63 of 69 in her career. Only caught 6 times in about 70 attempts. Those are wheels. The strikeout, the throw out, turn 2. How's that for an ending to the inning?
That was incredible. I love to see this. Not just that, look how perfect that throw is. You see her trying to slide away, tracking all the way with the tag, but that was on a changeup as well. I love that, and talk about momentum being carried over. That was incredible as we head in.
Napoli starts it, Jaworski throws, and then the finish. Execution by UNC. Northern Colorado finding a couple of really explosive plays on the defensive end to start this game. It was right out of the gate. Chacon makes that phenomenal play in center field. And then you had that great grab on a sac fly by Guyona that doesn't quite go down as a web gem because a run scored, but it was still tremendous, laying out full horizontal, and then a strike him out, throw him out, double play to close it down. Now what can they do with the bat? Strike one in to Francia, who's the one who closed out that last double play.
And as much as I love seeing offense, seeing pitching, something about great defensive plays get me fired up like nothing else. And whenever you have a moment like that where not only does your pitcher come up clutch, get the strikeout, but then your catcher and your shortstop, you guys have a bang bang, and you get a double play out of that, that just carries you into the next inning. And whenever you look at what they did last inning, several hard hits strung together, you had a run get across the board, momentum is on your side.
Beecham. Torres there. Meet at the point. He still winds up with the ball and the out. All good between the two sensational sophomores. She's like, I'm good. Don't need to come out. We're good.
Again, this one sky high. You can see as they cross over, they go from sun to shade. Everyone is kind of focusing on where's the ball, let me track the ball. Not enough on where's the communication. And I think that's where you saw that little mishap going. Glad Issa was okay. Glad everything is okay.
Look over there at the defensive replacement, by the way. Angeli Bueno into this game and playing first base. Guyona watching outside.
That pitch right there, the way the body is just aggressively going to the batter. Franic did such a good job disguising that off speed. You could tell hitter wasn't prepared for that. If she can get that pitch in consistently, I think that changes her entire game.
Guyona gets it to the grass. Franic was in the driver's seat, but Abby Guyona having herself a start to the year.
She's a hard one to get, but this pitch elevated right at the letters. That is what the Bears are searching for. That is the pitch that they are trying to hunt down. Is it elevated? Yes. Am I swinging hard? Yes. Do good things happen? Yes. That is what is being said right now.
Keeps the good going. Doubled her games played a year ago. Wound up at about 100 at-bats, in line for even more this year. Standard activates the feet and the bat. Franic, nice rise.
She has slowly been climbing that ladder this at-bat. Started with that low rise in the strike zone, below the letters, brought it up to the shoulders, and that last one above the head, just being able to climb that ladder inch by inch, controlling your movement. That's something that you want to keep in the back of your pocket.
It's the toughest pitch in the sport when thrown well, no matter what. But for the slappers who are trying to run away from it at the same time, it's so difficult. Standard staying alive.
The battles that we've seen from the hitters, I am loving how hard they're making these pitchers work for outs. They're making them work. There is no surrender that I've seen.
Hop throw down to second, sails to the grass. Guyona makes it a stolen base, her first of the year.
One, it almost looks like it was a surprise. Dugout was a little late throw through, way over. It was a good job making sure that the ball was backed up, but again, a little bit of a miscue, but it's taken back.
Answers the bell anyway. It's the swinging strikeout. She can make it all not matter if he's able to get by Katie Walling. Remember, Fry, the catcher, coming in, so still settling in, possibly on that throw. Also, with Edenfield due up, this may very well be her last half inning behind the plate. But you never know, it is game 2.
That off speed right there. A little bit of a swing through, a little bit of pitch, just taken off speed, taken off of that pitch. It is hard for hitters, and you've seen the Bears struggle. Whenever that off speed is low, they struggle to discern which one's the hard one, which one's the soft one.
Walling to center. Harp hangs on. Had the hard hit one, but is able to manage the routine. A hit for the Bears. The only thing them across. Guyona threatens, nothing more. FSU still in control by 3.
University of Northern Colorado, 1.
For Florida State,
Base, number 42.
back-to-back frames. They've been held off the scoreboard after going 2-2 to begin the action in game number 2. But if there was any player who could turn that around in a hurry, it's the reigning freshman of the year.
Everything about her swing screams powerful, screams strong, and I love watching how still and calm she is to how quickly she can generate movement. That is where her power lies. Doesn't try to do too much, doesn't try to overswing, but stays within herself. You see it, you see the control, but there's power behind that.
Nice off speed, floats right in. She's got elite decision making on the diamond and off it as well. Signed an NIL deal with Whataburger, which is the best fast food burger you can get. And I have just angered half the softball world by offending the holy burger in California, which would be In-N-Out. But it's true.
It is true. Whataburger
There we go.
is the best. It is.
There we go.
I'm sorry to say. You heard it here first, folks. I think I angered the other half of the softball community.
No doubt. And he hit hard, doesn't matter. Skying up, reaching out of nowhere. The web jabs continue for UNC. Gander grabs.
I mean, the stretch and reach on that ball, it was a laser. You had a split second to react, and being able to reach up, jump, fully extend, and make that snag, that was beautiful. I love what I'm seeing from Northern Colorado. Their defense, they have been clutch time and time again. I can think of 3 instances already in this game.
It's starting to become very, very clear how this Northern Colorado team has won back-to-back titles in the Big Sky. However, Florida State had one of their best years ever on offense and sometimes there's no defense to be doing anything. Isa Torres, her first double of the year.
You've seen her show bunt a few times early on this game, and then being able to turn around square, have that power, have enough speed to get second, standing up, doesn't even need to slide in. She is, whenever you have Beecham and Torres back to back, that is such a threat. You have to be cautious, and you don't get the second to breathe, because right after those two, you have Michaela Edenfield, and her today, she has two hard hits. One in the gap, one that was snagged, but she is seeing the ball well this game.
She does indeed re-enter, comes in for Fry. And the horrifying part for ACC fans, Beecham and Torres both just sophomores, along with so many other young players for this FSU group. Edenfield right up a chute. Gandered. Softball's a funny game, isn't it? Where web gem, reach out, snatch it out of the air. The routine one, a little lost in the sun, gets out of the glove.
You can see her trying to reposition herself, and then last minute, I think that was more than the sun, more than anything, just not being able to get that second hand over it last minute. The tricky thing about high fly balls is you have time to think. That is the most dangerous thing for any athlete. You don't want time to think. You just want to play. You just want to react. But like you said, the game doesn't know. The game doesn't know.
Goes down, it's knee 4. So much read and react in softball and in sports in general. That's why they say the free throw line is the toughest thing in sports. It's just you and your thoughts right there. The rare time there is no defense in a team sport.
Florida State, last 2 innings, they haven't been able to get a run across the board. They've been looking pretty good, runners on the corners. Can they execute right now? A hard hit opposite side. That's what you're looking for. Can we get 1 run across? Let's just push 1. Can I hit the ball hard?
Right into foul territory, right up against the fence. Another play that is not routine, made to look so. Aggressive base running on the backside of it. Well done.
We saw that from Edenfield, her first at bat, just having that aggressive heads up base running. Right here, this is as close as you can get, and you don't think too much about it, but caught by surprise. If you're a catcher, you probably are aware of the field in ways that most other positions aren't. You're constantly looking, you're constantly checking. I love how aggressive Edenfield is on the base paths.
Conversely, and maybe it's a stereotype and unfair, but you're not thinking the catcher is going first to second on a foul out. But Edenfield is next level athlete.
Tina Poli, she's done a good job of subduing and minimizing damage here.
Waycaser held up just long enough for Quinney. Florida State is able to threaten, but exactly what you just said. Izzy settling in, and Florida State kept off the board. The lead remains 3. Northern Colorado not intimidated, not settling for FSU running away with this thing. They have held serve, made the plays on defense, and still very much in striking distance as they come up to hit here in the bottom of the 5th. For the Florida State Seminoles, Jazzy Franic continues her first career outing in B5.
One thing that I mentioned is both of these teams, I was impressed by their offense, of how their hitters have been disciplined. They're not just going after any pitch. They have been really intentional. And if it takes a while, if it takes them deep into the count, they're okay with it. They're not trying to chase after something. And the past few innings, Northern Colorado, they have been knocking on the door, begging to be let in. They have had a couple of hard hits, had good base runners, runners in scoring position. They haven't been able to quite convert over yet. I think for them, that is going to be the biggest thing this inning specifically as you get into the tail end of the game. Looks like a lot of substitutions.
Making sure to keep track of the FSU ones as well. One thing you can guarantee, Emily Morales is going to stay in this game. She was pinch run for a couple innings ago. She came right back in, make no doubt.
Now batting for the Bears. First base, number 25, Emily Morales.
Morales, that's why she goes right back in the lineup.
Absolutely. That ball is crushed. Crushed. She sees all of it. Doesn't try to do too much. Drops right in front of right field. I love that swing. Again, it's all about getting the bat, getting on base, passing the bat. That is what Northern Colorado at this point in the game, that is their goal as they head through the top of the lineup.
Ella Gonzalez in front that time on the follow-up. Big Sky Player of the Year getting a nice round of applause. A lot of folks making the trip down from Greeley, Colorado to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We joked last game, but probably more so for Northern Colorado than any team in round 1 of this tournament. That's a pretty easy sell, I think.
Absolutely. Let's talk about a 180 on the weather as well.
Yeah. Northern Colorado, the only group that might pass them, that logo you see just to the right there of Ella Gonzalez. Fargo, North Dakota. Those folks will probably be very happy to come down across the border this time of year.
In the name of softball, of course.
Of course. Boise, probably thinking the exact same thing when Boise State starts out in round 2.
Good eye. Right there. That is what Franic has been getting Northern Colorado to bite on. That pitch that just nibbles. It is such a great 0-2 pitch. I love that location. They have been nibbling on that all game long. She's seen a lot of success. You're starting to see those adjustments come into play.
High and tight from Franic. And she catch the bat.
I think that turn in was just a little late. So it grazed the hands, grazed that bat.
Coach P out to argue her case. Third-year head coach. Off the nub.
Yeah, that's close. Yeah.
Reigning Big Sky Coach of the Year. Deanna Pendleton Helm. Gonzalez turns foul.
that pitch almost in the exact same location right there. Up and in, not a strike. But if you're Francis, you know she's going for that pitch. Why not throw it again? See if she nibbles. See if she bites. That's what she's been doing best this game, is getting these hitters to chase after her pitcher's pitches.
Franic just outside. Run it full. Ella Gonzalez has not been retired yet this season. 2 for 2 in game 1. Poked into right and perfectly placed. 3 for 3. Ella Gonzalez will tie her career high in hits in the very first game of the year.
And back-to-back spots over in right field. The battle, the ability to be disciplined. That ball is low and away. She's taken 2 of them before, and knowing, okay, she's bringing it back over the plate. This is the one that I have to pull the trigger on. I love that clutch, that grit, that fight for Northern Colorado. They need to keep it going. This is the inning. You get 3 or more hits tied together, you get a run across the board.
Couple of hits for the middle of the order against Jazzy Franic, though Chacon still looking to lock in at the plate. Straight up and straight down. Routine for Widra.
Those high fly balls, we've been seeing a lot of them at this point. No one on the defense is surprised. Just misses this pitch. But immediately the thing that stands out to me is communication. Knowing Widra, calling everybody off, saying, this is mine, I know this is mine, back off the ball, ball, ball.
Widra splitting time in that first game at second base with Annie Potter. So far, it's been AB's extended stay at the Keystone. Jaworski, high, just foul territory down that third base line. Good range by Isa Torres.
And this is the one, you see it, it looks so good, you can't resist. And then the last minute, it jumps up above the shoulders. That's the one that you have to be careful as a hitter. Francis, she is so good at slowly raising that ladder. A little bit higher to get these hitters to nibble.
When you watch, it's strike 1. So after back-to-back base knocks conceded by Franic, then it's back-to-back outs, neither of them getting past the infield. Easy take there.
Goes back to the battle. Not just swinging at anything. Want to get that run across. That golden bag there at second.
chopped. Beecham across the diamond, little stretch there to ensure it stays by Bueno. And Florida State keeps the score where it's been. A pretty static scoreboard for the last half hour or so. We're going to stay at 4-1. The infield holding serve as we go to the late stages. First pitch up top. FSU trying to break through, get back on the scoreboard. Started the game strong, but we have seen a really, really nice settling into the flow. Napoli doing some really good things.
Both of these arms, what they have done best is getting these hitters to swing outside of their game plan. We talked about discipline. We talked about making a game plan, making those pitchers come to you. But we haven't really talked about how effective they have been with that. It's not an easy feat to have both teams be scoreless the past 2 innings. Florida State scoreless the past 3 innings, looking to go 4.
But Janai Kerr in the driver's seat. Kerr at 3-1. Sends it to a waiting Chacon.
Kerr on this one, you can see her hands just drop underneath that ball just a little bit. It's the late break, it's the late movement that fools her, and that's what gives the rise ball such an advantage, is if you're able to get that break to be a little bit later, that's where you're going to get those miss hits.
Kennedy Harp has been on a heater today. 4 hits and 5 at-bats, 3 runs batted in, a double, and a home run. The heater continues. How about a 5-hit day to open up 2025?
If you weren't a fan before, now you are. Kennedy Harp, just the way that she's been seeing the ball, she's swinging to swing hard. She's not swinging to hit a home run, to just make contact. She is swinging hard and with intention. And these results, well, I would love a 5-hit day any day of the week. What a way to open up for her season.
3 hits in this game. That is a new career high for Ken Harp. So all the talk of that dynamic duo of sophomores on the left side of the infield in Torres and Beecham. Harp says, no, don't forget about me. We draw. Into left. Nona on it. Good bounce back.
And again, it's not that these hitters for Florida State are being so overpowered. What Dina Poli is doing so well is she has been able to just get a slight miss hit here, a slight barrel miss there, a rollover here, a chase here and there. That is what has made her so effective against this Florida State offense. When you saw at the beginning, the very first inning of the game, they came out hot. They were swinging hard. The balls were bouncing off their bats. This adjustment has been done so well.
Away. A reminder that sports are better on the big screen. Head to your preferred device app store to download the all-new FloSports TV apps for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, and Chromecast. You can set your favorites, search our library of live and on-demand content, and so much more. Download today. Pop throw down to second. Took a hop in. It makes all the difference. Harp takes the bag.
Seeing the speed, being able to see that ball in the ground, not fully turning the hips. Yeah, I think that's the right call. I think her hand is just able to sneak in there before the tag.
And then on the backside of it, Ross able to take her time. And so Beecham with 2 on the pond.
Last at bat, she had that beautiful smoked ball to the right side and a fantastic defensive play. I feel like the Bears have made 4 or 5. They just continue to make great defensive plays. Kind of got robbed on that one, but as a pitcher, you have to remember this is her 4th time through the lineup, and it feels like it hasn't been going that fast, but 4 times through the lineup, that is hard. You know what the pitcher's throwing. So being able to keep a hitter like Beecham off balance is important this at bat.
Conventional wisdom is 3rd time is when it begins to favor the hitter. 4th time, really advantage player in batter's box. Beecham, the shallow left. Francia keeping the Webb Gem streak alive for the Bears. This defense has been unbelievable in the very first game, mid-season form for the Big Sky champs. Range, location, perfection. Bottom 6 we go. Northern Colorado's going to get the home field advantage in this game. They'll get the last say no matter what. Right now, they'll try and they'll do exactly what they've been looking to do the last few innings now. Get this 3-run deficit erased.
Back in the lineup behind the plate, number 51.
Franic has done a great job in the circle. Both of these pitchers really just managing these hitters so well, managing the game and managing the pace. Being able to do that several times through the lineup. Right now, you have Colorado State. They're working through their or Northern Colorado has been working through their lineup for the third time. They're on the second half of it. Like you said, third time through, it starts to favor the hitter.
Coach P was at Colorado State for 17 years. It's easy to get the two caught up. Francia starts 0-1. On the other side, Franic might be thinking complete game to begin her collegiate career. Well played. Torres the first.
Some of these, it looks like, oh man, they crush it. It's just the timing. I see the high spin rate, the floatiness of her ball. Franic, she's been able to do that and deceive the hitter into tricking them. Okay, I need a swing now. The ball's going to be here now.
4-3 this time. Down on the board. Her second hit of the day. And in a row.
This one, I mean, it's not the prettiest pitch, maybe not the one that she's going after, but whenever you swing with intention, good things happen, especially whenever that exit velo is pretty high. You had your second baseman shifted up, first baseman on the line, gives you a wide range to work with. But the biggest thing is how hard they swing consistently day in and day out. I've seen that from Northern Colorado, not day in and day out, but batter in and batter out. Each one of them have been really intentional with whenever you see them swing. I haven't seen check swings. I haven't seen half-hearted swings. They're fully going in and committing.
Bailey Kakalis is going to check into this game as the pinch hitter for UNC. Seven at-bats last year, in line for more in 2025, going against the talented freshman Franic. One other sub to note for you, Christina Hartley just came into this game. She is over at second. And so 3 different players at second as the Seminoles continue to try and figure out their post-Devin Flaherty future, who played that spot magnificently last few years. Adelaide the cause.
Beautiful. Beautiful sequence there. Was started tight up and in, went away, away. One thing that Franic does so well, again, is that ladder. Being able to go up with the ladder and also being able to go away with the ladder with these hitters.
So the pinch hit bid left off the board. Back to regularly scheduled programming. And for Katie Walling, it's an RBI opportunity. Got on a second stolen base in as many tries.
So we've seen a lot of high throws, but nice job by Issa Torres being able to hang on to that ball, try to apply the tag. Obviously not able to get it in time, but great job being able to hang on to that.
However, she left early, which means the inning comes to an end. Largely a mistake-free game for Northern Colorado. That one's untimely. That one will keep it a 3-run game. So in a time where it's going to be a little more strictly enforced, challenges and video review all possible, none needed there. The leave early call ends the frame. And we go to the 7th inning. Florida State looks for some extra padding on their 3-run lead, starting with the dynamic shortstop, Isa Torres. That's a dream start.
Torres, she's had several hard-hit balls, not just today, this game, but her first game as well. Just seeing contact really, really well. These two sophomores, Isa Torres and Jay Beecham, she has done a fantastic job just feeding off of their energy. And that's where I really think Florida State, you've seen that lull, is they haven't been able to convert that energy that they create, that momentum that they create, and trickle it down through the rest of the lineup.
Torres sitting at that 5-hit day, including 3 in this game. Tie her career high. She last did it against Boston College. Drop that off the table.
How is that for an off-speed? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. You could tell by Edenfield's body, she was not ready for that. Timing-wise, she wasn't expecting it. That was a great pitch.
Then you go top shelf. Edenfield obliges, and it's no issue for Gander.
That takes me back to just slowing down your decisions and knowing what you're chasing after. These pitchers, they have done such a great job of getting these hitters to chase out of their zone. Michaela Edenfield, could she hit that out? Absolutely. Should she? Not always. So being able to reel that zone in.
Chopped up. Stays right where it is. Izzy, no stranger to the complete game. 10 in each of the last 2 seasons. Even had 6 as a freshman.
Couldn't get the bite on that off speed. Being able to lift it up just a little bit, and I think she might have gotten a nibble.
Dak started this game great. 2 RBI, 2-bagger. Does she have a bookend in her? That one's high and tight. And an easy 60 for Torres.
That would open up. That one, I see where Dina Poli was going on that, trying to speed her up, get her inside, slow her down away.
Won't matter.
Trying just a little bit. Free base here.
Yep. Would have had second regardless on the walk. Dak on for the second time. Passes the baton to Waycaser.
Now batting the right fielder, number 1, Hattie Waycaser.
And it has been a drought for Florida State. The past 4 innings, not a single run scored, several hard hits in each inning. But being able to convert that runner over, that has been the biggest thing. And I think as a team getting together and saying, what is the adjustment? Is it the pitches that we're chasing after? Are we swinging too big in our counts? But finding an adjustment instead of falling into the lull in the trap of Dina Poli, which she has done an amazing job of getting these hitters to fall into that trap.
1 hit in each of the last 5 innings, including this one for FSU. So the left on base numbers are about the same. Knowles have 7. Northern Colorado actually has more at 8. Though it's a category where you prefer less. That timely hitting in the first 2 innings for FSU. The entire difference to this point in the game.
Just being able to stay locked in, have your team have a chance to be able to convert those base runners, those left on base into runs.
1-2 high chop. That's where you wonder as well, how much of that is momentum? FSU was just coming off of a game. You can channel some frustration to boot, but they had a bit of offensive firepower towards the end against Okie State versus Northern Colorado, who was getting their first live swings against a true opponent, not themselves.
And I spoke about it a few innings ago, but you look at these foul balls that Florida State is having, and they are just squibbing off, just missing. It's that late break, so locking in a little bit longer, trying to see that ball a little bit deeper. I think that will be a game changer for them as far as adjustments go.
No reason to go after that. Bears do have the top of their order waiting in the wings. Looking for clarification on something.
Sounded like they were wanting clarification on count. And getting some more balls out there.
There you go. Just needed an equipment bit. Mike Burwell, our home plate umpire this afternoon. Getting a stock of softballs and we're good to go. Wicket off speed.
And listen to the crowd, to the fans, to her teammates. I mean, that one drops off. That starts mid-thigh, that changeup out of the hand, and drops all the way down to the ankle. Talk about break.
Tonight Kerr works ahead. Just the third strikeout today for Izzy. Hasn't needed that K pitch too much. The defense behind her has been top notch. Kerr manages to find the smallest of gaps in that defense. Torres comes around to score. Florida State has their insurance.
And finally, they broke through that drought. Started off with Torres getting on base. But that one, I think the biggest difference between that strikeout that we just saw and this hit up the middle, the changeup is still filthy. It's still dirty. There's a lot of movement. But that one that was hit very hard back up the middle, that one started up by the belly button, dropped down to the waist. The other one started mid-thigh and dropped down to the ankle.
Steered.
What a way to start off your season. You have trained all fall long, and the commitment to that swing. Again, it doesn't always have to be 100% on time. It doesn't always have to be 100% on the barrel, but a hard swing, having good barrel playing, that does wonders. And how many times do you get a triple in one game? I mean, come on, this isn't fair.
Just an unreal day for Kennedy Harp. And again, this is not a surprise to anybody in Tallahassee. All freshman team last year, got a ton of experience, but we caught up with Coach Alameda this week, said she had a great summer, and boy, has that confidence translated today. Kennedy Harp, 2 RBI in 1 swing, 3 in the game to tie a career high, 4 hits, exceeds the new career high. She's got 5 RBI across our doubleheader. Hit, double, triple, home run, so a cycle across 2 games. I mean, what more can you do if you're Kennedy Harp? Officially go down as a double and an error to get her to third, but that does not diminish any bit of what we've seen. Idra re-entering, going back to work in the box.
I'll say this bottom half of the lineup for Florida State, they have done such a good time, almost such a good job almost every single time turning that lineup over.
Idra's been extremely productive in this spot with a couple of sac flies. That's not in the cards here with 2 outs. But Florida State getting themselves a nice cushion thanks to Harp.
Nice job by Dina Pulley being able to come back. Was down 3-1. Just those slight pitches, getting them to chase.
High and tight. A good job by A.B. Widra. She'll work her first walk of the season and of her FSU career.
Now batting number 7, Angeli Bueno.
Here's Bueno for round 2. Powerful Beecham waiting in the wings.
Big hack there. 5th time through the lineup for Di Napoli. That you do not see very often. You do not see that very often with pitchers, the same pitcher pitching all of those 5 times through the lineup. That is so impressive in the way that she has been able to keep them off balance.
It really controlled this one spot until Bueno walked last time in the 6th. Reminder, Florida State. Good.
That paired with all the runners left on base.
Yeah.
Could be a very different ball game for Northern Colorado.
Big hack on the bender there, and I think they know that too, and that's what they'll certainly remind their team of as they're going to be in the Florida State position, assuming this result holds. They'll head into the 2nd game, looking to avenge the loss as they welcome in a team playing their 1st game, Northern Colorado and Louisiana Tech. Be the finale here on our very first day. Sydney Supley will slide in for me. You guys will have a good time. Lop foul.
And again, the foul balls, the miss hits, that should be a hard hit, but something last minute, that movement, that spin, so well executed by Di Napoli.
Let it in. Run it full.
Especially on pitches like those, you almost hold your breath until they cross because you don't know one way or another.
Bueno lifts to center. Chacon awaits. Northern Colorado is certainly going to have their job cut out for them, but it's a similar gauntlet to what FSU had to deal with. Offensive momentum, the goal at a minimum, everything else is extra. FSU half an inning away from win 1. Northern Colorado gonna get their hacks in, make something happen maybe in this game, but hope to at least create some good buzz heading into their matchup with the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. Meanwhile, we will see A.B. Widra slide in from second base and take over in the circle. So the pitching debut for the former Auburn Tiger, Annabelle Widra. Chopped up. Torres closes down the first.
How's that? One pitch, one out, right there, bang, bang.
Can't
Sometimes
start it any
I
better.
do love the energy of switching out your pitchers, getting a fresh pitcher in, just getting quick outs. Something new, something unexpected.
Kind of makes you think Widra might be in line to start the next game for FSU against Louisiana tomorrow afternoon, but we'll see. Morales, hit it where they ain't. Finds the grass. Third time on base. Fourth if you want to throw in the air.
A flare will always work. We love that. That is just dropped in no man's land. The way that she went down, that ball was pretty low. It wasn't elevated, but the way that she was able to get into her legs, go down, and get that ball.
Gonzalez, a little more charge to center field this time, and an easy play for the second out.
Saul's getting a good piece of that one. Elevated over the middle of the plate. Just looks like she was slightly late with those hands.
Chacon hoping to extend the day. Reminder, the ultimate college fan experience is right here on Flow College. You can head to flowcollege.com and watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 12 different conferences. All in one place. We get the Big Sky in the ACC represented here. Conference USA makes its debut next. Got the Big 12 earlier this morning.
And a lot of conferences in this tournament, not just
yeah.
in week 1, but week 2 as well.
Yeah, you get a full mix week 2. Big 10, Summit, all across the board. Mountain West, all showing up in week 2. We'll have 6 teams in our second stanza of this tournament, 4 here on the opening weekend. Oh, you heard from the dugout. 3 becomes 4 in a row. Chacon takes the 4-pitch walk.
Struggling to find that corner. Just a little too outside, 4 in a row. 2 outs here for Florida State. Just trying to wrap up this game. End up a long day. I remember that day 1. First day, you get the doubleheader. It is brutal. But then you have the rest of the weekend to go on through.
Bears will be playing plenty. So will these Knowles. Hokie State's got the 3 one-offs. The rest getting their reps in session 1. It's off the end of the bat. Outside, just a little bit after National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. We get a great start to the college softball season. A pair of top 15 teams picking up wins on day 1.
Big hack there. Especially in a pitcher's count, the way that she reared up, she was ready and fired up for it. Right now, it's all about make every pitch count. Pitch to pitch, swing to swing.
That's doing the job. Jaworski and Northern Colorado have done a nice job of playing out the string here, making sure FSU has to earn it. Knowles did the same thing to Oklahoma State. Had the walk-off on base, couldn't close the door. Up top to seal the deal. Widra ends her first FSU half inning in the circle, and as a winner, Florida State into the W column to begin 2025.
Florida State, 2 games, doubleheader today, but being able to wrap it off with a 7-1 win against a very good Northern Colorado team, that is big for them. Being able to get that win, see where they're at, and then you regroup. And tomorrow, we'll get to see them some more. We'll get to see those adjustments. I cannot wait to watch the rest of today, the rest of this tournament.
It's going to be a blast. One more coming up here on our very first day. Northern Colorado and Louisiana Tech making their season debut. Get going in about 40 minutes. Certainly hope you'll stick around for the grand finale of the first day. This one started out fast for FSU. The Web Gems denying the early opportunities, but Florida State puts up 2 runs, including on this sac fly, in each of the first 2 innings, and the Noles wind up victorious. Jazzy Franic picks up win number 1 with Florida State. A.B. Widra closes the door, but there's plenty to celebrate for Northern Colorado as they lock in and get ready for game number 2. And if it's anything like that from a defensive standpoint, they're going to be in a great spot. Hang out. Sid Supley's going to take over for me. Nicole's hanging out all day. It's the Bulldogs and the Bears, Killer Bees, coming in about 40 minutes.